Hello, welcome to my live stream. This is day 18 of 99 Days of Deeper Embodiment. I'm super excited to be here, to be speaking on Deeper Embodiment. This is something that I honestly feel everyone should be excited about right now, because the more deeply we're embodied, the more we can meet the challenges that are coming up in the collective and in all of our lives. So I'm really excited to be here. And I'm just going to take a moment to wait for others to join. Beautiful. So if you're joining, post a comment, let me know that you're here. Say hi. It's nice to be here. I know I said yesterday that I might be driving through areas with no service and that I would upload the video, but that is not what wanted to happen. What wanted to happen is that I stay in a beautiful hotel in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And so that's what I did, and here I am. I'm making the live stream today, which is really fun. I got a really nice, restful sleep, and my body really began to spread out because Wyoming is really wide and open. Aiden says, howdy. Hello, hello. Nice to see you here. Nice to have you here. So I really feel like myself here for the first time in a long time, because what has been happening, and this is what you can probably tell from my other live streams, is that the collective ideas that are playing out are so intensely heavy. They're so painful for my body, because my body is really light. And I feel all of those ideas, all of them, all the time. Even now, where I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming, where it's spacious, and this is, I mean, I'm at my frequency now. So it's like, oh, I'm here. Oh, thank you. I can relax. But even here, I still feel all the ideas that the collective are running, that they're energizing. Every idea that all the people are thinking. And it's like, how do I describe it? Little jolts of electricity all over the place all the time, getting shocked. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's the way it feels like in my body. And so what my body is constantly doing is just purifying those ideas, bringing them into the felt sense of presence, the felt sense of being all the time, all the time. And that is a deeply embodied state. It is a deeply embodied state where I meet whatever is here with the felt sense of presence all the time. It doesn't matter what it is. Yet it's to be at this deeply embodied state. All of the ideas are there, and they're being felt all the time. So it is, from a body perspective, it can feel like crucifixion at times. So that is there, and you can kind of get a sense that I am at my frequency. I'm at my, that this is comfortable for me, just in the way that my voice, the voice imprint, sounds. It's like it's full of presence and joy and excitement, the excitement of being, the excitement of being here. And so when I'm in areas of the world, like I just was a few days ago in New York City, where there's a lot of stressful ideas all the time, and I'm constantly feeling them, and those are being projected on me, then I'm constantly purifying those and moving with those. And that changes the expression that is coming from my vehicle. I I am moved to express or reflect the ideas that are being run and the ideas that are being energized. And so that is very different. And so it can sound very different. And so today, I'd like to speak a little bit more on the deeply embodied state of presence, the deeply embodied state, the guru enlightenment state, which is where I'm at. And so this state, the deeply embodied state, is a state where whatever idea comes up, it doesn't matter what idea it is, it can be deeply felt, just dropped right into presence, dropped right into the heart and felt. It does not need to be picked up. It does not need to be played out. And then if an idea is fun, then that can be moved with still. There is still an identity that is playing out to some degree. And that identity is a soul level identity. So that can be picked up and played. And if it's fun, to play with it. If it's not fun, then it can just be dropped immediately. And so a lot of the ideas that have been coming, that I've been feeling fully, because the collective hasn't had the capacity to do that on their own. So I act as a counterbalance in the state for a tremendous amount of negativity, especially because I was in Lima and then in New York and then moving across the United States, where there is just lots of ideas. Lots. Aiden says, reminds me of a water filter. Go with the fluid presence and don't identify with the gunky. Oh, totally, yeah, man. That's exactly what it feels like. Yeah, so you can feel that. So there's just a lot of ideas running, and so all of those are felt, and all of those are brought into presence, and without a lot of spaciousness at this point, without being in a place of playfulness, without being in a place of with a lot of spaciousness, it gets very taxing on the body, on the physical body. It gets very intense because the physical body is feeling all of that all the time. And so this is where it came up for me on the drive to drop the soul level identification completely too, and just dissolve it and go into the absolute completely. Because it was so stressful on the body that option was there. And it always is. It always is. And so I brought that into a session with Sumihiru, and it was reflected for me that yes, indeed, that option is there. And yes, indeed, I can do that. However, there is also the option not to do that at this point, and that would be in reality, of greater benefit to the whole, of greater benefit to the self, because all of those ideas that are playing out, all of those ideas that are running, that is also the self. And so to find a way to be in the greatest capacity is deeper for me. It's deeper for me. So even in this deeply embodied state that I find myself, there's still deeper. There's still deeper in the sense that, and that there's always more to dissolve within the self, which is also mind, within the game of self, within the whole of self, because we can feel. If you just take a moment to drop in yourself, feel very deeply with a knowing as we are sitting together here in this held space of presence. There is a felt sense, even with the sense of I amness, even with the sense of wholeness and completeness that is here. There's also a felt sense of the ideas that say, I'm not whole, I'm not complete, I'm separate from. And those are the ideas that are reflected through others. So the idea of others showing up, and that aspect is always reflecting that. And so even in dissolving the structure of I, the individual identity, all of the other selves which are running that I still are felt because they are also the self. All is the self. And so at a soul level, there is a pull. And this is something that is real. Right? It is there to assist, to hold space for, to move into that state of just beingness with what is here. While there are, how do I describe it? There are complications in the way that the collective is playing currently, where there are what feels like to me pockets of conflict, deep, deep pockets or zones of conflict within the self, where very dense perspectives are being played out, deeply held ideas and beliefs are being played out so that they can be seen through. And these pockets can be felt in cities, large cities especially, but all over, anywhere anyone is plugged in to social media, to television. And that energy of social media, of television, is highlighting constantly the strongly held ideas of a separate self, the deeply held limiting beliefs. And it's actually doing that intensely at the moment to give the collective, and this is my feel of it, the opportunity to drop those ideas, to more deeply embody. To become aware of them and to recognize, oh, wow, there's another way of seeing this too. And so I was having a conversation with someone at a gas station. I stopped for gas while I was driving through Iowa. And I had a conversation with her because she was watching the news. And in the conversation, she says to me, it used to be that I watched the news and they just gave me the news. They told me what was happening. But now when I watch the news, everyone is spinning it. Everyone is giving me an opinion. Everyone is telling me how I should believe it is based on what they're believing. And this is actually a very high level of awareness that is arising within a woman who is serving gas and selling donuts at a gas station at a country west stop in Iowa. So what this shows me is that there is a lot more awareness arising naturally, spontaneously within the self. There is now deeper embodiment happening all on its own. More awakening, all on its own, because that is a high level of seeing, to be able to recognize, wow, they're all spinning a perspective. They're all holding a perspective. And every perspective is asking me to move into it, to go along with it. That is a high level of seeing. And so when you can see that, then you can also see that you have, as presence itself, as awareness itself, can choose. You don't have to move with any of those perspectives. You can drop them, and you can feel deeply within yourself what is true for you, and then you can see which timeline you would like to energize. What feels authentic to your own embodiment? What is moving you the most authentically? What is deeply true for you? In order for you to move through the limiting beliefs and the limiting ideas that show up and embody more presence within your vessel, within your body, within your vehicle, more wholeness and completeness within yourself. And so, the more that every being on the planet gets on board with this, the quicker that every being is playing out every limiting idea and belief that is in the collective, so that they are dissolved, and that we move into a place where we are all no longer moved by stressful ideas, no longer moved by ideas of separation. Rather, we are moved by the felt sense of wholeness and completeness all the time. And this brings a much more playful experience to the planet, a much more light experience. What can be felt as heaven, what can be described as heaven, which is always here when we drop the ideas. I'm really excited to be holding this space. I'm fully committed to this container and deeper embodiment with you, and guiding you in deeper embodiment with whatever comes up. So feel free to message me anything that is rising for you, and I am here. There is nothing that I cannot meet or feel, so there is no limitation. I will be expanding this container more. There will be more space available through it, and I will. That will be revealed as I stabilize in my new home, which will be Salt Lake City, which tomorrow I will be there. So thank you so very much for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow. I love you very much.